Hello, growers. Looking to turn your homestead into a profitable business? Or are you a farmer looking to boost your sales? Check out my book, Sell Everything You Grow. This book is the ultimate guide to choosing the right farm business model that fits your farm, time, and location. Discover which model has the highest profit margins and why diversification is so important. Whether you're selling apples, vegetables, or microgreens, Sell Everything You Grow will help you find your first market or expand into new ones. Get Sell Everything You Grow on Amazon and start selling more today. Just right there, I think that might have some people scratching their heads because they hear mining and they think humic acid, and they're not, might have trouble bridging the two together. And I know there's a lot of sources of humic acid, but from a mining perspective, can you talk about the mine that you guys have and how and what type of humic acids derive from that?
Sure. So we'll just go from a macro view about humic substances and narrow it down. So humic substances are the end result of decomposition. So compost, manure, peat, all of those things ultimately after they break down will convert to a humic or fulvic acid. That's the end result of their decomposition cycle through microbial activity. So each humic acid deposit will vary based on age, rank, parent material, the things that you can imagine. The deposit we're mining now is like the Amazon forest millions of years ago. That's all that old plant material that's stacked up. There's several occurrences of those plant type deposits over the millions of years. So you'll see humic deposits that are 20,000 years old and some like ours that are millions of years old. But that's all it is. Basically, an ancient forest is what we're digging up, what would be the forest floor. So humic substances, they're common. They're in every soil and every water in the world. It's just these deposits are very concentrated because of that plant material that formed them.
From a lot of movies, if you think Jurassic Park and stuff, things that have decayed over time result in all sorts of different substances from diamonds. Enough organic matter decomposes, put under pressure, you get diamonds. And further up that scale is coal. And then maybe I'll even put peat. I know peat's formed in a bog, so it's like an anaerobic condition. But where does humic substances, where they fall between forest floor material as if we walked out in the forest today and dug down a little bit into the soil and coal?
Yes, you covered a couple of really good points. And eventually, yeah, with enough heat and pressure, our deposit would have turned into diamonds. But it's sure good that we caught that before that happened. We didn't want to ruin such a good resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, you have a humification process and then a coalification process. And the humification process is actually taking those plant components like cellulose, lignins, hemicellulose, things that made up the cell walls. The microbes are destroying them, breaking them down. What happens is they get broken down to where the microbes aren't eating them anymore, and they start kind of polymerizing and recombining. And that process is your humification process. And then later, when you have heat and pressure, it turns them into hydrocarbons and actually makes coals and those other things. We're in the middle between a peat bog and having the heat and pressure to eventually turn that peat into coal. If you were doing a rainbow where peat is on one side and then coal on the other, you would be somewhere in the middle where you no longer have recognizable plant tissue. You couldn't look in there and say, oh, there's some roots or leaves. It's all been broken down by the microbes.
Yeah, my past life was in the mining industry. I actually graduated from college as a mining engineer. So I worked in sand and gravel when I first moved out to California. So a lot of experience in that sector. And looking at the open pit behind you that people can see who are watching this, you can clearly see stratified layers or horizontal bands across the face of that open pit. In the type of substances that you're mining, how thick is the layer of humic substances?
So our humate deposit, they call humate deposits a little bit differently in the world. So ours is a humic shale. And what would differentiate us from a leonardite is the humic shale has a little bit more of a clay component. Leonardite and humic shale, they're kissing cousins. But this humate deposit that we mine here, the bandy behind me is about 15 feet with about 8 feet of sandstone on top. That thick black layer up there, that and that up is sandstone, and from there down is just the organic deposit. That's about 15 feet, and it will vary. These are ancient hills and stuff like that, so it'll get thicker and thinner. And the geologists tell us it's a semi-tropical forest, so that's what we're mining.
Is there a variance in the quality of it if you skim off, say, the top, or can you tell anything from color?
Yeah, color gives you an indicator on the humic, and believe it or not, we actually give T-shirts out for people that visit the mine that say, "I licked a rock at the Rockland mine." That's the name of our mine. But a lot of times our miners are actually licking the rocks to taste quality. So you can actually taste the fulvic acid. It'll be tart. And so when we're grading it, our mine, we extract ingredients that are used in dietary supplements, cosmetics, animal feeds, and fertilizers. And so we try to use the best of the best for our dietary supplement side, and then the rest goes into agriculture. And on the dietary supplement side, that's what we're out doing. We're out tasting the rocks and say, yep, we're grading this for the food side.
Hey there. Want to spend less time pulling weeds? Check out Soil Shield by Modern Grower. It's the pre-cut landscape fabric solution to help you drastically reduce weed pressure. Just roll it out, staple it down, and plant. Then let it do the work for you. Say goodbye to endless weeding and hello to more free time. Plus, it's high quality, durable, and will last for years, saving you time and money in the long run. It's available in a variety of row and hole spacings to accommodate all the crops that vegetable farmers grow. Learn more about Soil Shield landscape fabric at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.